Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in! Touchdown! Jalen Hurts! The Eagles are just devouring the Giants. And it is A.J. Brown again! Another touchdown!
Welcome back to Linc Lineup. Today is January 4th, 2024, and we're recording at 5:40 Eastern Time. So, as always, whatever happens after this, it happens. Today I have Josh with me. Bryce's birthday's tomorrow, so he's out celebrating, allegedly. Happy birthday, Bryce. Hopefully you listen, and you understand that I have said happy birthday to you, because otherwise I'll hear about it. But we have plenty to talk about. You got the game from Sunday against the Cardinals, which took me a minute to want to talk about, and then of course, looking forward. Plus, we've had some news, I guess. The biggest thing being the AJ Brown interview, which, depending on how you looked into it, either coming out feeling better or feeling worse about the team. But we'll have all that covered here on this episode. But yeah. So let's talk about it. Cardinals game. It felt like the Commanders game from last year, where the Commanders just held onto the ball the whole time, and the offense did what they couldn't necessarily get into a rhythm, but they just control the time of possession, and that's basically what happened. Is they dominated us in that department. And the best way for a bad team to beat a good team, I guess, is to hold on to the ball and not allow the offense from the opposing team to score. So Cardinals executed a fantastic game plan. But it ultimately sucks. That game sucked to watch. If we recorded this, because the plan was record right after the game and kind of give our initial reactions, because Cowboys won, so we should be in the two seeds, like firmly in the driver's seat, the 2 seed. But we lost, and so we lost the 2 seed. We lost the NFC East. Not officially, but kind of officially. And so now it's sad, just sad. And the Eagles are missing out on at least 2 home playoff games, or at least 1, but you would hope they win that first one. So at least 2 home playoff games. Now they're not going to get any unless some miracle happens where all the lower seeds just win. But I coming out of that game, didn't feel great. Didn't feel good. Was very frustrated. Almost could see it coming from a mile away. Whenever the Cardinals hit the ball, on that last possession, you could see it. You knew it was coming. If you've been with the Eagles this year, you knew what was happening. And it sucked. What were your main takeaways from this game?
Yeah, I have 2 main takeaways. One being just how much the Cardinals got whatever they wanted offensively. Obviously, they ran the ball really well against us. They had, I don't remember how many rushing yards. I know it was in the mid 200s.
Yeah.
I think didn't matter who was running the ball.
James Conner had 119 yards at in the first half.
Yeah, he had a monster game. Michael Carter it felt like he was getting a first down every time he touched the ball. Kyler Murray had a few nice runs. But even when they were passing the ball, it felt like just they got whatever they wanted. It just felt like our defense had no idea what was coming at any point, and just even if they did, they couldn't stop it. On the other end, or on the other side, though, I was, aside from the second to last drive, overall happy with our offense. We were scoring when we got the ball, which was not very often. So it was nice to see. You want to do that against a team like the Cardinals. You want to be able to score at will against I'd say, what most consider a bottom 5 team in the league.
Yep.
So, yeah. So the offense, I mean, like I said, aside from the second to last drive at the end there, pretty much got what they wanted as well, which was good. I guess I might have liked to see. I mean, coming into the game, I would have wanted us to run the ball a bit more, but as effectively as we were passing it, it's hard to say that we should have done things differently. It might have been nice to have a bit more time of possession and keep our defense off the field a little longer. But at the end of the day, I mean, we have to get stops, and we just weren't getting any. So as long as we kept putting points on the board, I mean, the offense did its job.
Yep. To put in perspective, Cardinals had the ball 39 minutes, so essentially 66% of the ball game, the Cardinals had the ball. I believe, and here's the funny thing. I'm looking at the ESPN box score, is the Cardinals only had one more drive than we did. They just held the ball for so long. It wasn't like we were turning the ball over or going 3 and out, giving them the ball and allowing them to just keep the ball. Every time they had a drive, they just held on to the ball. Example. Let's go drive by drive. First drive ended in a field goal, 7 minutes 46 seconds. That's our touchdown. They had another field goal, 9 minutes. Touchdown, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. These were all like in the second half, the last couple I mentioned, but 6 minutes is quite a bit. And then we punted the ball. We took a minute and a half off. They then followed it up with a 5-minute drive. And then we had a 7-minute drive. They had a 4-minute drive. We had a 2-minute drive. And then they took 2 minutes off the clock to score a touchdown with that final drive. So they're holding the ball. They were just holding on to the ball. And, you got to give them credit. Because, I mean, they were, 14-point dogs this game, 12 and a half, whatever. But got to give them credit where credit's due. Sucks. It doesn't feel good. And it's funny because after the Cowboys game, I came on here and I said, we can get right if we beat the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants again. And and the Seahawks too. I forgot the Seahawks. But we lost the Seahawks, so I'm like, hey, we can beat the Giants, Cardinals, Giants. Beat the Giants. You guys aren't feeling great. I'm feeling okay. Lose the Cardinals, now we're feeling awful. So we had opportunity to get right, I feel like. But we kind of, based on what I've seen, and like I've mentioned, I've plugged them a million times, and I'm going to continue to do it until I'm blue in the face. On the Shane page with Shane Half and Johnny Page, they're basically summing up as like on defense, they're getting too cute. Hassan Reddick was dropped in the coverage, I believe, like 23% of his snaps. Same thing with Brandon Graham, just dropping the coverage. And like they are preaching they don't want to be predictable, but like there is like a fine line of being like predictable and like being like exciting and just being stupid. Because like, why are you dropping your best pass rusher in the coverage? Sure, I understand the thought process behind it. You have Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, you got Josh Sweat, you got every piece you want. But still, your best pass rushers going into coverage. And then sometimes they put him at off-ball linebacker. He's not an off-ball linebacker. Why is he lining up behind the lineman? In like that linebacker spot. Why? There's no point. And sure, they might use him as like a spy, but it doesn't matter. Why would you do that? So there's plenty to be frustrated about the defense, and I can't tell you anything to make you feel better about it. The only thing I can say is it can only get better because I don't think it can get any worse. But let's talk about pros real quick from this past game, and then we'll continue to bash the team for a little bit longer. Pros. That Sidney Brown return was phenomenal. got me juiced. It wasn't an easy return. It was not an easy return. He had to work for it. The pick, you can definitely say that was just a gimme. Um, would have been wouldn't have been surprised if he dropped it with the way the season's kind of gone. But he caught it and then made a hell of a return. Pretty impressive.
He definitely channeled his brother Chase,
Yeah.
the Bengals running back in that.
Yeah, he did. I actually didn't know he had a twin brother until
Oh, really?
yeah. So I was playing. So I have obviously I play fantasy, and I have Chase Brown on my bench, and I remember I think it was probably last week. I looked at him and I was like, wait a second. He kind of looks. He had like the same like skin complexion as him. Like, and I was like, he kind of actually looks like him. And then I looked at the picture on like fantasy, and I was like, he looks just like him. I was like, I wonder like what this is. And then I looked it up, and they're twin brothers. They went to Illinois together. They got drafted this year together, or not together, but they got drafted this year.
Yeah.
Look just like him. And Chase is going to be good. Chase is going to be real good if once he gets the opportunities.
Oh yeah, he's definitely underutilized there.
Yeah, and I mean I understand why they have Joe Mixon, but I mean he's going to be good once he gets the chances. I'm going to draft him next year because people are probably going to forget about him. But speaking of fantasy, we're taking a slight detour here. Me and Bryce were in the finals in our money league.
Oh, wow.
The only league I care about. And Bryce had quite the start that week because I had a Monra. He got me like 22 points. It was nice, but then like he had Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers had like a couple catches for 100 yards and a touchdown at like in the first half. I forgot who else he had. He had Kyron Williams, who got 3 touchdowns in the game. And then I'm trying to remember what it was. I was up by like 4 points after the 1 o'clock games. He had Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and I had no. He was up. He was up. He had Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. I had Jalen Warren and Javonte Williams, and Jalen Warren kind of went off for me, and kept it close. All that to be said, it came down to Sunday night. I had Justin Jefferson. I was down 2 points, and then the Vikings rolled out. I forgot his name, but the rookie quarterback, I think Jaren Hall is his name, looked awful. Justin Jefferson not getting any catches. They put Nick Mullins in. First thing he does is throw to Justin Jefferson. Secured the prize. Beat Bryce. So Bryce, for listening to this, fuck you. Beat your ass. The champ is here. But
happy birthday again.
Yeah, happy birthday. I won't tell him that. It was awesome that I'm glad it was him. But yeah, I won that. But back to the game. Yeah, so Sidney Brown definitely channeled his inner Chase. What else was positive? I think the offense, like you said, they were great. I think they were great for the opportunities that was given to them. They were good. Julio, I forgot about Julio. Julio had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That one off the tip pass was great because he had to stop and like really focus to catch that. And he got the touchdown, and Dallas Goedert got a touchdown, so he's up to 3 touchdowns this year.
Is that really only his third? Wow.
I think so. I think it's 3rd or 4th.
Right on pace.
Yeah, he's probably going to get his normal amount.
On that tipped Julio touchdown, at the time, it almost looked like if he didn't get tipped, he wouldn't have gotten there. And so much so that it almost looked like he was like prepared for it to be tipped. Like he was like in the perfect position after the tip.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where the ball was trying to go. I think it was going to Julio, but I think it was going to be like on the sideline. But the tip worked out because Julio stopped and it was perfect. Shout out Julio, man. Shout out to Kenneth Gainwell for that pass on the fake tush push.
That was cool.
That was cool.
I was saying earlier that day that it's funny that like we've never faked the tush push. And like
Yeah.
so you could put a running back in there instead of Jalen because it's not like we've ever faked it. It's not like there's any doubt. And then of course we pull that out, which I like.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind saving it for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wish
But
we would have saved it, but it is what it is.
and teams do kind of have to account for it, even if we don't do it. So
Yeah,
that's good too.
I think that's what's awesome about the tush push. I know national media hates it. I know people who aren't Eagles fans hate it, but I like it because like there is a lot you can do with it. You can push with it, and you can, when I went to the Commanders game, in October, we handed it off to DeAndre Swift. He got a touchdown off of it. Uh, there's just so much you can do with it, and because like you can't stop it like the initial one, but like you can really like swing for the fences and like pass it with your running back or there's I don't know what else you could do with it, but you can do a lot and you can surprise them because let me tell you something, their first priority is definitely trying to stop it with Jalen. But
Yeah, because if they don't send the house at Jalen, he's going to get the first down. Like,
yep. For sure. And I don't know if I said it on here, but Jimmy Kemsky said it the best. It's funny whenever somebody gets the bright idea to jump on top of the pile and then just crowd surf their way back to like where they came from. Because if you get on top of the pile, you're not really doing anything. You're just kind of having a ride. But yeah. Anything else positive I can think of? Because there's not a lot.
trying to think if there's anything else offensively because I can't imagine there were any on defense.
I can't. I feel like Keely Ringo had a decent game. I know that he got flagged like 2 or 3 times. That's just how he plays. He was very handsy. That pass interference, I believe on that last possession, I was mad at that call because he did get pulled down. It is what it is. Shouldn't be in that position to begin with, but he did get pulled down. Yeah, let's go negatives. Because I mean, I can't think of anything else. One of the biggest negatives I feel like gets overlooked because something good actually happened on it was whenever Milton Williams sacked Kyler Murray and Kyler fumbled the ball, and instead of like I don't want to say finishing the play, and I'm not going to grill Milton for it, but he got to celebrate balls on the ground, and if he's holding on and he's aware of the ball on the ground, he can keep Kyler from getting it, and that's our ball. But he gets up, celebrates, Kyler gets right back on the ball, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Personally, me, I'd probably be celebrating too, but you got to be a little bit more aware of like what's going on around you. And then if you watch the tape, it seems like obviously the defensive line knows who they are. They know their skill set. They know that they're underperforming. So they are playing selfish ball. A lot of times, this game specifically, the worst thing you can do is allow a quarterback that has mobility to get on the outside. And so Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat, sometimes they rush the inside because they feel like they can win that pass rush by pass rushing on the inside. However, that's awesome. Except A, you got to make sure you bring him down. Josh Sweat didn't bring Kyler Murray down the only opportunity he got. And then B, if you don't win it, guess what? Kyler's not slow. He's going to roll out to his right or left, and he's going to take up the first down or yards with his feet. So there's a lot of like selfish ball being played. And like I said, if you haven't watched or listened to their show, definitely give it a listen because they go over that more in depth than I will ever be able to. I hope that one day get there, and I hope that one day bring that to this show. But until then, they're my go-to. But they were saying like it's a lot of selfish ball. They're trying to make things happen whenever it's not there, and when they make these decisions, it hurts the team, and we can't have that. We can't have that. Do you have a negative that maybe I'm forgetting about?
Not that you're forgetting about. I think when it comes to the selfish ball that you're talking about, I wonder how much of it is the players versus the scheme.
If it's a scheme, then uh, I don't know what to tell you because, like, common sense tells you, and like we see it all the time with opposing defenses, is
Hmm.
if you are going to make a quarterback roll out, you want to pressure them. If they're right-handed, you want to make them roll out to their left. If they're left-handed, you want to make them roll out to the right. But it seems like no matter what happens, we're not doing that because, like,
Yeah,
how many times a game have you seen Jalen roll out and then he can't pass it because he had to throw across his body? You see a lot, but
yeah,
how many times do you see an opposing quarterback do that? Not often.
not often. No, I mean that's what makes me wonder how much of it is the players. Because I have to imagine if the coach is trying to, if the coach isn't coaching them to do that, they'd be like they would make adjustments at some point. It makes me wonder how they're being coached to play it, especially in someone like Kyler who's that mobile. Because I can't imagine our players are going against what the scheme is, and Sirianni and the coaching staff are just like, oh, yeah. I mean, like not coming down on them for that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it there is at least Matt Patricia's kind of. I think he's like trying to experiment, but I think so. I think that the players and the coaches are aware of like who they're playing against and knowing that they should win these games, right? I think they want to experiment for stuff in the playoffs, but they didn't expect to lose these games. Because like I said, like I mentioned, Hassan Rex not in his natural spot. Brandon Graham's dropping in pass coverage. They had a couple reps where Nicholas Morrow was the edge rusher. So like there are like I feel like they're experimenting and it's not good. It's not good because we've been losing. So if we're not winning, not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, I
But
mean, like you said, they're getting too cute with it. Like it's one
yeah,
thing to be unpredictable; it's another thing to just do what
be,
doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
just be stupid. Yeah.
Just be stupid. Yeah.
Um, that's all I can think about. Cause I don't want to go too long on like this game, because we could be here all day. But offensively, one thing that stunk, and you mentioned it earlier, was that last possession. But
Yeah.
that AJ interview, he said that like if somebody goes like the correct way, that's like a 30-yard touchdown. I believe him. I'm gonna believe AJ. So somebody missed a block, somebody just forgot. Um, it happens, but I don't like the play call though. I don't. No matter what AJ says, I don't like the play call.
Yeah, I don't like the play call, and the fact is like if it was the right play call and like that would should have been a 30-yard touchdown if everybody ran it right. It's week what six? It's week 17. Like you shouldn't be making those mistakes week 17. Those are the mistakes you see like week one, week two, the first half of the season maybe. Like now's the time where like you know what you're doing when you're calling plays. Like you got to buckle down. Like every play counts, especially in the playoffs.
But yeah, I didn't like it. And then of course, on the play that everybody hates, which is a screen with Devontae Smith being the lead blocker. Of course, he gets rolled up on. Thankfully, he's okay. He expects to play Sunday if they actually do play him.
Hope they don't.
And then yeah, because we're playing in MetLife and that turf is going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But he should be okay for the playoffs. Um,
Speaking of getting too cute, Dante Smith should never be blocking in space.
yeah, I respect Devontae for being the person that's willing
Yeah,
to do it, but
absolutely.
you have AJ, you have Julio. Make one of those strong motherfuckers block. Not Devontae.
Even Zacchaeus, like any receiver besides the guy who's a buck 50 soaking wet, like
Yeah,
what are you doing?
yeah. But I'll give him props every other week for doing it.
Yeah, more props for him for trying.
Yeah. But let's see anything else. Any closing thoughts as we try to move past this horrific game against the Cardinals.
I mean, all we can do is try to move on. We can't dwell on it. We got to go on to the next week. We're still going to be in the playoffs. So, season's not over.
It's not over. It's not over, and we'll be talking about that here shortly about the next week. But before we do that, let's take a quick break and hear a word from our newest partner, and we'll be right back.
Bring the Vegas gaming experience to the palm of your hand. Bet your favorite team, try your luck in the casino, or our poker room. The earliest sports lines and the biggest limits online. Lots of deposit options. Bet on live events as they happen. The next play, the next score. Get winnings fast or roll them into a parlay and win even more. Visit BetOnline today and see what millions of customers have experienced for over 20 years.
And welcome back. Big shout out to BetOnline for partnering up with us. We will be leaving a link in the description across all platforms. If you click on the link, BetOnline is running I forgot what the match deposit is right now. I think I want to say it's they match 100% up to $500. So take advantage of that. Playoffs are coming up. College football playoffs are about to end, I guess, but you can bet on that championship game. You can bet anywhere. So shout out to BetOnline. Can't wait to see where we go from here. Now let's talk about next week. This is different because, like I said, throughout the whole year, I don't like doing preview shows because preview shows we can sit there and talk. We need to do this, do that, but you're going to hear that. You're going to hear the same exact thing on every single podcast that you listen to, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So we can tell you, hey, Eagles need to find a way to get pressure. They need to find a way to get their playmakers, involved. Use the middle of the field, all that. You're going to hear the same thing. So we're just going to talk We're going to talk about different things, I guess. So one of the things that we talked about maybe like a week or two ago is what can the Eagles do to make you feel better about their chances going into the playoffs? I think I'm at the point where nothing they do in this game would make me feel better. Because I don't think they're going to play their starters. I don't think they are. I think they might play the first quarter and then look at the scoreboard, and be scoreboard watching the whole time. And if the Cowboys get off to a phenomenal start, they're just going to pull them, because why would you play them? They're playing on the worst field in the NFL as far as turf grass goes. Washington Commanders, you own that title of the worst field in the NFL because that stadium is absolutely dog shit. But as far as turf goes, MetLife is the worst. Definitely the most. It feels like statistically that place has most injuries. I know there's a stat somewhere out there, but that place has the most Achilles injuries. I can think of two this year: Aaron Rodgers and I think his last name is Phillips from the Dolphins. Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
He tore his Achilles there too.
Yeah.
So, I don't want anybody to tear their Achilles, and especially not this late into the year because they won't be back in time for next year. So, but for the sake of the show, I think if they do play their starters, I think getting AJ involved and letting him kind of go off would be huge for this team. And then, he had his interview this week, and there was a lot of speculation that he's upset with the coaching staff. And he kind of put that to rest. He said, "Hey, look, I had no problem with him. He's basically upset with how the team's playing." And he's like, "What?" He's like, I have nothing to say." And he said, if he has nothing else to say, he's not going to say it at all. And it's not about the coaching staff; it's about the team. And I think that him coming out, he apologized to the team, and then he came out and talked to the media. That was being a leader. And I know a lot of people, they don't like AJ because they think he is a diva and crybaby. But I think if you are really tuned in to the Eagles and you pay attention to them outside of like the games, you can see that AJ is a leader. And he's a very good one at that. If you have listened to that interview, I suggest doing it because to me it brought me back in. I wasn't all the way out, just because I never will be. And if you've been following along with us, I've been the only one that hasn't been like out yet, you know. But I'm like all the way back in with AJ, and it just seems like what had happened was they lost the 49ers. It's like, oh well, we still have the 1 seed still. Like it's okay. They lost the Cowboys. Oh, we can still get the 1 seed, and we still control our own destiny for the NFC East. Lost the Seahawks. Okay. We still have the NFC East in our hands with the 1 seed still around. Beat the Giants. Nothing changes. Lose the Cardinals. Oh shit. We lost the NFC East. We lost the 1 seed. We lost pretty much the 2 seed. That kind of goes hand in hand with the NFC East. We're now a wild card team. No home playoff games. We're going to be traveling for the rest of the year. I think now they are a desperate team. And I feel like they are a desperate, talented team. And I think that the worst thing you can do come playoff time is face a team that is desperate and talented. And that's why I feel like the Eagles do have a shot at making a run of this thing. Sure, coaching makes questionable decisions. And it seems like what AJ was saying was like the players do improvise quite a bit. Because he said that on that Seattle game, they improvised and tried to get I guess like a penalty, but Nick took the blame for it. But it feels like the players call their own shots. But I don't doubt the players. Like going into the playoffs, I don't doubt Jalen. I don't doubt AJ. I don't doubt anybody on this team, really. Besides the linebackers, I doubt them quite a bit. But it's hard. It's hard. And you'll hear a lot of negativity, probably from Josh here in the next few minutes. But he doesn't want the Eagles to lose. He doesn't want them to lose. He wants them to win. But I understand. I definitely understand because I used to be about where Bryce is. Bryce is super negative. In case you haven't noticed, he's quick to be negative. I used to be the same way, but we won a Super Bowl going into the playoffs looking like complete and utter dog shit. And I have no doubt in my mind that we can do it again. Sure, we don't have that first round bye. We don't have home field advantage. But do you remember that feeling whenever it was a year after the Super Bowl when we were a wild card team? We go to Chicago. We still won from the Bears. We were down in New Orleans. We're down cornerbacks, right? We're down quite a few. And Trayvon LeBlanc got a pick. And Nick Foles is leading us down the field, like 2-minute drill. There was no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure 90% of the Eagles fans' minds, that we weren't going to go back and win that. We weren't. And then, of course, Alshon tipped it. It gets picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. Into that dream. So, like, I feel like this team can make the run. I feel like they're too talented, and they can only be down for so long. I don't think that this team is just going to sit there and, like, fold because they had a bad month. Probably about a month and a half now, I guess. I don't see it. I think right now, if you look at the odds, I think that they are fifth best odds to win it all, if I'm not mistaken. Behind, I think it's Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, 49ers, Cowboys. Sixth best odds. I think it's their sixth best odds. Yeah. I think they're better than Cowboys. I think they're on par with the 49ers if the Eagles play at their best. And like they play what they're like to the point they're like, you know what they're capable of. I think they're on par with them. And I think Jalen Hurts is the determining factor in that matchup. I feel like if they can play their best ball these next 5 weeks, they can do it. There's no doubt in my mind they can do it. It's just to be determined if they do play their best ball. And it starts with Jalen. And I think Jalen is the person that starts this process of getting our momentum back. It'll probably be in that first playoff game because, like I said, I don't see them playing Sunday against the Giants. And once Jalen gets going, you'll start seeing belief. You'll start seeing momentum come our way. And I think that's when we make our run. So that's my prediction. I still think this team can and will make a run to Las Vegas. Hope we don't play the Ravens. That's about it. If we play anybody else, I think it's a guaranteed win. But if it's the Ravens, it's going to be a fun one. But yeah, I don't see this team I don't see them packing their stuff up and going home. I don't. Based on what I've seen, what I've heard, and what I've learned about these players, I don't see it. I don't see it. And I think with AJ coming out and basically saying like he knows that we're capable of it, we're almost there. And he made a point that we've seen glimpses of like perfection, but it fades away quickly. It happens. It just fades away. Typically starts with a wide receiver screen, tight end screen, with Devontae Smith blocking. That's typically when it starts to fade. But I don't know. I think this team's okay. I think it's okay to be down. I don't think it's okay to be out though. Definitely don't be out. But that's my little rah-rah speech. Josh, I'll let you take it away with how you're feeling, and we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, so I wouldn't consider myself a pessimist when it comes to the Eagles. I've definitely been closer on the spectrum to where I believe Bryce is now, like in the past, like very quick to count us out. And in other years, I would say the season's over already. I still think we're on the short list of teams that can win the Super Bowl. There are teams that are in the playoffs that I think have no shot, and I don't think we're on that list. I think if we get our act together, we have as good a chance as anybody to at least make the Super Bowl. I think it starts and ends with Jalen. I think if he comes out in that first playoff game, because like you said, I don't think he'll play much, if at all, against the Giants. If he comes out gangbusters and is rallying the team behind him and we come out on fire, I think we have as good a shot as anybody. One thing that you mentioned to me not on the podcast, that I think is also a big motivating factor for this team are some of the older guys, some of the vets, like Jason Kelce. It's probably his last run. Lane Johnson might retire. I don't know. I could see some of the older guys this being like their last Super Bowl run. And I know that they want to win for them. And you put it well. I mean, this is a team that, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, it seems like each week we've kind of, like first we had the 1 seed, and then like, okay, well, we can still have a chance at the 1 seed, but we have the NFC East, we can lock that up. And like, seemed like each week our situation got a little worse. And now we're at the point where week 18 is meaningless like we hoped, but not because we have the 1 seed locked up, because we have nothing to gain at this point, probably.
Yep.
But that's kind of a good place to be in when we have teams counting us out. We want teams to doubt us. We've been in that situation before. And we're still a team that nobody's going to see us on their playoff schedule and think, oh, yes, we play the Eagles. That's an easy win. No matter how down we do still have one of, if not the most talented rosters in the league. I think that, yeah, I mean, this team's not going to give up. This team's not going to lay down, and I don't think they have. I know they've been making some mistakes, and they, frankly, all year haven't put together a complete game, and they're going to have to if they really want to. If they want to win the Super Bowl, they're not going to get through the whole season without playing a complete game. But they have it in them. I know they do. And I know they have the drive. I know they have the leadership, and they have the talent to do it. The only, just to kind of play both sides of the coin, though, I don't have any doubt in most of our players. I don't have any doubt in Jalen, any doubt in AJ, any doubt in, a lot of the key contributors on this team. But like you said, I have a lot of doubt, or I don't know if you said a lot, but I have a lot of doubt in the linebackers. I have a lot of doubt. Frankly, I have a fair amount of doubt in the secondary. I think our secondary is either, in the case of James Bradbury, over the hill, or in the case of somebody like Keely Ringo, he's just not, I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he can get there someday. But if either of them are going to play a major part in the secondary, along with the fact that our linebackers situation is the way it is, I mean, Jalen can play as great as he wants. Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick can play as great as they want on the defensive line. If we have, I just don't see, or I don't know. I mean, maybe they can, but I could definitely see the linebacking core and the secondary just being just unable to overcome. And I hate to say that because I think that everybody else, I have confidence that they'll step up when they need to. I just don't have confidence in, especially the linebacking core. Like Darius Slay, I know he's lost a step. I have confidence he can step up, but he can only do so much. I have confidence that Reed Blankenship will play well, but he can only do so much. I think that the lack of talent and lack of investment that we put into the position in linebacker and that the side of the field across from Slay is going to be tough to overcome. And I think that if we do lose, it'll be because of that, and not because of anybody giving up or laying down, or even like lack of scheme or coaching. I think that most of our key contributors and our big names would be able to overcome that in the offseason. It's just a matter of when it feels like there's such a dearth, is that the right word, of talent at linebacker.
It ain't good, I'll tell you
performance. Yeah, it's we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic because I know that, not even that I think, I know that Jalen's going to step up. I know that some of our, like I keep saying, key contributors, I know they're going to step up. I just hope that they can do enough to overcome some of the holes that we have that we haven't had as well. Yeah, I would say haven't had as strongly in previous playoff runs.
Right. I think something that does get overlooked, I'm going to try to fact check it real quick as I'm talking, is that, so first things first, Shaq Leonard just hasn't been great. I think we can all agree on that. He's had his moments, but like he doesn't move well. It's a shame. I hate it for him because he seems like a good guy. But it just seems like he's not moving the way he used to. It sucks. But I feel like something that does get overlooked is that Zach Cunningham has been out, and he's been our best, by far our best linebacker. He missed the 49ers game, and of course we had tackling issues. We had tackling issues against the Cardinals. Zach Cunningham's out. Cowboys game, I think we just got our ass whooped, and that's all it was to it. We just got our ass whooped. But he's missed the past 3 games, and I feel like we've struggled those past 3 games against bad teams, and I feel like we need him. We need him back. Him being back is going to be, honestly, it's going to be great. And at this point, he could do no wrong in my eyes because I miss him so much. Slay, I can't wait to get him back because, like AJ said, that he's been going through like a thing with his knee that nobody knew about but like the team. And so hopefully that knee feels like $1 million and he's back full, like 100% for just in time for the playoffs. Because we need him. We definitely need him. So like we're getting people back. Devontae Maddox, I wish that you didn't play last week because I have my doubts in you right now are so high because you played so bad. You allowed 8 catches for like 84 yards. That is awful. That is awful. And I don't know what was going on. Maybe you're rusty, and I understand that, but like the expectation for you was high, and you fell way below that expectation. So
Honestly glad he played because I would hate to have high expectations for him in the playoffs and then he comes out round 1 and does that.
yeah.
So
yeah. But yeah, I don't think I think Vegas also thinks that we're gonna not play our starters because the line right now is we're favored by 4.5. And last time we played the Giants, it was 13. So either Vegas thinks that we are dog shit or they think we're going to rest our starters. And I'm leaning towards that.
Yeah.
But who knows what will happen Sunday. So if you're betting, don't bet on this game. Do not bet on this game. I promise you it's not worth it. Because there is a world where the Commanders have a lead at halftime and we're not resting anybody. There's also a world where the Cowboys are up 21-0 with 3 minutes to go in the first. And we're like, all right, no point. So who knows? If we somehow steal the East, we don't deserve that. We definitely don't deserve it, but we'll take it. But I don't know. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the Cowboys beat the Commanders and we get that wild card spot, or do you think that somehow, some way, we're back-to-back champions of the East?
I want to say that we find a way and we become back-to-back champions of the East for the first time anybody in the division since what, like 2006, I think.
4.
2004. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Cowboys are going to stomp the Commanders, and it's not going to be a question.
What if I told you that the Cowboys can't win on the road and they can't win on grass, and the Commanders have grass? What if I told you that? What if I told you that the Commanders also only lost by 7 to the 49ers?
Yeah, that changes things.
And what if I told you that, sure, it'd be beneficial for the Commanders if they lost, but what if your biggest divisional rival could clinch on your home field? What are you going to do? You want to let them do that? It's like there's so much that's also like going against the Cowboys, in my opinion, that it is possible. I'm not getting my hopes up. My full expectation throwing out there right now is we're 5th seed. We're traveling to New Orleans or Tampa. That's my full expectation. If we somehow travel to Atlanta, I'll be able to go to that game. I'll be happy. But that's my expectation. Is the 5th seed. 5th seed. But there is a chance, and I feel like it's a bigger chance than people are giving us. It'd be nice. We get the 3 seed at that point. That'd be interesting.
I would take it.
I mean, I'd take a home game for sure.
Yeah.
What else? Is there anything else I want to cover before we wrap this up? I don't want to do prize picks this week. That last week was just so bad. It was bad. It was very bad. We're not good at picking lines. Bryce isn't. Let's blame Bryce. Bryce isn't here.
Yeah, it's Bryce's fault.
Me and you were on heaters. Bryce is selling. But yeah, I think it's going to do it. I don't want to do score prediction just because nobody knows. And quite frankly, I don't care what happens. If the Cowboys win, if we rush stars, cool. I get to see Rashad Penny carry the ball a couple times. That'd make my day. But I wish and I hope that we are forced to play. We come out injury free, and we kind of catch a spark. And we kind of get things rolling. We still the NFC East. Things go in our favor. My last question for you before we wrap this up is right now, if you could give me a percentage of the chances of us making this run just to get to the Super Bowl, not win it, just to get there, where would you put our chances right now? It is perfectly fine if you say 0. I wouldn't blame you at all.
It's not 0. It's definitely not 0. I would say realistically, maybe this isn't realistic. 10 to 15%, honestly, of getting to the Super Bowl. So I was thinking, 3 playoff games, call it 50-50 for each, would put us at 25%, right? 50, no, 12 and a half. And then I was thinking maybe a little less than that. It's like 10%.
I got you. I mean, at the end of the day, all you gotta do is be in the dance. All you gotta do. That's all you need. Is just to have a chance. And that's the main thing I want you guys to take away from this is we have a chance. We'd have a chance. That's all you need. What Nick said earlier this week about how we're in the playoffs, some teams just want to be there. It sounded like a loser quote, but I know what he was saying. Is we have a chance to get there. People would kill to be in the playoffs, but we're here. That's all we need. So take that how you want it. If you want to believe, welcome to this side. I welcome you with open arms. If you don't want to believe, you got Josh and Bryce over there. Just
that's a 10%.
He's hovering, I guess. But
I'm more in the middle.
Yeah, I think Bryce is probably in the middle too. He definitely felt that AJ speech. So
yeah, he liked that.
He did. He definitely did. But yeah, that'll wrap up this episode. We got plenty of fun things coming up. We're going to do an ultimate Eagles tournament where we go decade by decade, starting with the 90s to pick the ultimate Eagle. So be on the lookout for that. You guys will get the vote. And it's all on you guys. We have no input. We have no say. All we're doing this is a seeding. So it'll be a March Madness style tournament. It'll go on for a minute, but we're excited for that one. We got a couple ideas for random videos, TikToks for you guys. I feel like will be fun. What else? What else we got? We got plenty of stuff coming. I think me and Bryce, maybe Josh, if you want to, might do a watch along for this Sunday's game. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm going with my fiance to go look at wedding venues before the game. So if I make it back, I feel like setting up my stuff, we can do it. Might have her included in it. But yeah, got plenty of things we want to do. And hopefully you guys stay around for it. For those of you that do, we thank you for it. Thank you for the reviews on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Amazon. We see them. We thank you for them. We got 5 stars, perfect score across all platforms. And then Josh, I don't know if you were here or if you heard, but somebody gave us a review on Apple Podcasts, said that we are a must listen. Take their word for it because I think we are.
Smart review.
Smart, very smart. And we thank you for it. Like I said, if you leave a review on any of the websites, we will read them here. So if you want to try to be clever and funny, there's a chance. Make it happen.
Make us laugh.
Yeah.
Or cry.
Or cry. Yeah, whichever one you feel comfortable doing. Shout out to Rogue Energy. If you need a energy drink that doesn't make you feel bad about yourself, check out Rogue Energy. Use code the Linc Lineup for 10% off your purchase. If you're unsure about their product, they do give out free samples. All you have to do is cover shipping. So be on the lookout for that. Might do a giveaway for a Rogue Energy tub. And yeah, follow us on all the socials, the Linc Lineup. We have been active. And I can say that with 100% confidence. We have been active, and I'm proud of us for being active. So follow us there if you're listening. Apple Podcast, Spotify. Like I said earlier, give us a review, and then follow us. That way you don't miss an episode. Because we may have a random episode pop up that you may not be prepared for. YouTube, I see you commenting. Thank you for commenting on the videos and liking and subscribing. Continue to do that if you're new. Yeah, follow Josh at the Pre2 on X. Follow me at Cardiac Chase. Follow Bryce at I am Bryce Haynes. Make sure to wish him a happy birthday if you want to. You don't have to. And yeah, until next time. Hopefully it's a good episode next time because I can't deal with any more heartbreak. But as always, until next time, go Birds.
Go Birds.